What is up, YouTube? And Twitch. I think we're on both right now. Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. Before we get started, please like the stream, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support tremendously. We've got UFC fights to break down tomorrow. UFC Fight Night, Barboza versus Murphy. I think it's Apex, right? Yeah, at the Apex. Before we do that, we got to get into reviewing last week's fights. Let me just pause my music quickly. Get it queued up for the outro. There we go. Yeah, so Derek Lugas fought Rodrigo Nascimento. Gets the first round, or third round KO win. Buckley looked amazing against Nursultan. What was I doing last Saturday? Oh, my buddy, it was his birthday. So I missed most of the main card. I took Nursultan, an underdog, stab at Nursultan. Clearly, just wasn't ready for Buckley, you know, the top 15 yet. But Alonzo Menningfield loses to Olberg. We picked Olberg. Diego Ferreira, I think, surprised everyone, beating Mateus Rebecki. Crazy. Sean Woodson looked great. Another Czech big underdog wins in Walto Cortez Acosta. Chase Hooper looked phenomenal. I mean, cracks Borshev in round one, controls round one, and then it just seemed like Borshev had nothing for him, no answers. Esteban Rivovics, hey, I wasn't anticipating the first round knockout, but good for him. I was thinking maybe 2.5 minutes of Terrence McKinney just being crazy, but Rivovics caught him. Took it to him and caught him. Tabitha Ricci, good win. I thought Tisha Torres won that fight. That was my pick. It was a split decision win for Tabitha Ricci. I don't know. We can look at the numbers real quick. Yeah. I mean, just, I guess, significant strike-wise, I thought Tisha Torres was the better fighter here, and then Tabitha Ricci got a takedown, but I thought worst-case scenario, you know, Tisha was winning 29-28. Trey Waters looked really good against Billy Goff. Billy Goff, super tough. Charles Johnson was our, I think, only underdog pick that cashed. And then Veronica Hardy looked great against JJ Aldrich. So on to the next week. By the way, I'm tracking all my picks, and you can see them for free. I post them every Saturday on my Twitter, on my X. UFC Fight Night, Barboza taking on Lerone Murphy. First fight of the night, Vanessa Demopoulos taking on Emily Ducote. Yeah, and Emily Ducote should just win this fight pretty easily. She's going to be the far better fighter, in my opinion. We can look at their past fights real quick. Let me pull up the sure dog for this event. Come on. There we go. Just curious who their last opponents were. Ashley Yoder. Fighting good competition, though. Jessica Penne, Angela Hill, Lupi Godinez. And then we got Vanessa. Coming off a win against Murata. And clearly just not the level of competition that Emily has fought thus far. So we're going to go with Emily to get this done. I suppose I just like the decision in this. Vanessa Demopoulos, she does have 5 decision losses, 0 knockout losses and submission losses. She's 500 in those fights. Dakota's less than 500, but we're rolling with her. I think she's the better fighter in this one. Alateng Heli taking on Kleidson Rodriguez. Alateng, 16-9-2. I think he's coming off of a loss. Oh, it says right here. Yeah, loss. Both fighters are coming off of a loss. And I think this is going to come down to, is Alateng going to implement any sort of grappling approach in this fight? If the answer is yes, he could probably have some success. I think he's going to need to get a takedown early and kind of deter the offensive output of Kleidson Rodriguez, who's just going to be the better fighter on the feet. From what we've seen from Alateng, it's not like he spams takedowns. He will abandon them. I'm not crazy impressed with either of these fighters' cardio, but I'll give Alateng with his grappling background the advantage there. But I like Kleidson Rodriguez in this fight to win. I don't know. Alateng's tough. I don't know how many times. Yeah, 3 knockouts, though. Not yet in the UFC, but he has been knocked out before. I think Kleidson Rodriguez could potentially land a knockout shot in round 1, round 2, but yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with Kleidson Rodriguez to hand Alateng his first knockout loss of the UFC. I think if I'm on the Kleidson side, I like him to be handling the takedowns early and be hurting Alateng early. So I guess I'm going to go with the knockout at plus 450, but I understand the odds, why they like this to go the distance. And it is a fight you could wait and see how it's playing out. Is Kleidson getting taken down in round 1? If that's the case, you could probably jump on that Alateng side pretty early. If you're on the favorite side, you're just looking. I don't know if you're really in a position to live bet, though. So, Piera Rodriguez taking on Ariane Carnalosa. Yeah, and I just haven't been impressed with what I've seen from Ariane Carnalosi thus far. Doesn't have great striking defense and doesn't have good takedown defense. So I don't know how she's gonna go out there and win against Piera Rodriguez, who's gonna come out there, have great output. I don't think she's got to worry about getting wrestle-left like she did against Jillian and getting ultimately submitted. I think this will play out on the feet for the most part. Unless Piera wants to take it to the mat, then she can take it to the mat. But I think she's just better everywhere. So give me Piera Rodriguez. I'm going to probably go decision as the winning method. Odds makers agree. They like this to go the distance. The next fight we've got is Abus Magomedov taking on Warley Alves. And Abus, what a crazy career thus far. Stolfus jumps into Strickland right away and then gets beat by Barallo. So this is, a step back down in competition, and he's going up against another dude who just doesn't really have the most terrific gas tank in Warley Alves. And I kind of think this is a good bounce back spot for Abus to go out there, get a nice round 1 win, but he definitely needs to crack and we saw him go the distance against Barallo. Granted, it was a loss. He's definitely got to crack that the gas tank issue, because he doesn't have anything outside of round one. Yeah, so I would just a lot of early wins. That's what I'm looking for. A boost, come out aggressive, hurt Worley. Worley doesn't, just put him on his back feet, have him backpedaling and style on him. Get the knockout early. So I'm gonna go with a boost knockout. Minus 110. The round one knockouts plus 165. I love like the minus 1.5 in this fight. That might be the line I'm looking to attack at minus 145 there. Maybe parlay it with a boost KO. See where that gets me. Tamiris Vidal taking on Melissa Gatto. And again, I see a big skill discrepancy in this fight. Melissa Gatto's should be better everywhere. She should be the better striker, better grappler. I guess I don't really see a path to victory for Tamiris unless she's going to point strike Melissa Gatto on the feet. And at that point, I think any fighter with, sound IQ might see there's an opportunity to grapple and take rounds that way. So give me Melissa Gatto. Tamiris Vidal, she's got 2 losses, a submission and a decision. Gatto definitely fighting the better competition lately. Gets a split decision loss against Lipsky. Yeah, I'm going to go with the decision. Victor Martinez taking on Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan coming off of a loss. Victor Martinez coming off of a loss. And yeah, I think this is a bounce back fight for Tom Nolan, who's going to be the heaviest favorite probably on this card. He is at minus 440. And yeah, I think he should probably knock out Victor Martinez, who's coming off of a knockout loss to Jordan Levitt in round one, which is like, come on. So give me Tom Nolan. I like this as another early knockout, round one knockout. Winning method, minus 225 for the knockout. Fight parlays, Tom Nolan round one, plus 120. Maybe we're doing, same thing, under a round and a half, Tom Nolan knockout. Just trying to maximize our odds there. Is it still on for tomorrow? Umar Sy making his UFC debut, undefeated, taking on George Tokos. French fighter taking on George Tokos. Appears to have more of a striking focus. Killcliff FC. Bulgarian top team. What is that? I didn't even see this when I was doing my... he's a heavy favorite, Umar Sy. 9-0. Coming in. What are the fight props? I guess I'm not betting on this, but I guess we'll go with Umar Sy. And I guess the odds makers like him to get it done inside the distance. Umar Sy, 9-0, 2 decision wins. Big finish prowess. Yeah, I guess we'll go with Sy. Luana Pinheiro taking on Angela Hill. This fight, I kind of lean in the Angela Hill way just because of the cardio, the output. How well she's done lately at stuffing takedowns. Just being a vet and forcing fighters to fight her fight. I think she's coming off a win, against Gomes. Thought she looked great in this run. Lupi Godinez, Dakota. Obviously got wrestled bad by Dern and then comes back and beats Gomes. So I'm going to go with Angela Hill to get the decision win. I think if you like Pinheiro, you're looking for a finish. She doesn't have the best cardio. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Hill decision. Probably not enough juice there to compel me to bet the decision result over just the money line, but that'll be the pick. Adrian Yanez taking on Vinicius Salvador. Big step down in competition for Adrian Yanez. He's coming off a couple of losses. Rob Font, Jonathan Martinez. Salvador's going to have to leg kick the crap out of Adrian Yanez, but I think what's more likely to happen is he probably just gets knocked out by Adrian Yanez, who's a terrific striker, terrific boxer. So I'm looking for Yanez to bounce back here. He's minus 425, heavy favorite. Odds makers agree they like the knockout. Although fight to go the distance. Oh yeah, they agree. Minus 225. Themba Gorimbo taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. This is an interesting one just because Themba is so clearly still raw and not dialed in as technically as he should be. But he should be getting better. He's in the UFC now, getting better coaching. And then Ramiz, we haven't seen him in a while, but, if he wins, it's going to be an early submission. We can pull up the numbers on Ramiz. He's got 10 submission wins, and 9 of them are round 1. There's 1 in round 2. He went the distance against McGee. Themba seems like kind of the fighter who's not putting his opponents away. Maybe he gets the submission win. I like Themba to be the minute winner, ultimately, if 15 minutes play out. He's got to be careful, though, in round 1. If he could be the aggressor and get into a position where he's on top in round 1, I would love that. But, then be conservative. Just tire him out. Get the submission in round 2. Don't sacrifice position to go out there and get an early stoppage. That's kind of my advice for Themba. And I like Themba. I love that submission line at plus 550. We could probably even go over a round and add a submission. Over a round, add a submission. Plus 800. We could attack that. I do think he definitely profiles as a dude, though, who seems more likely he's going to win a decision. But just how Ramiz fades, I guess I could see the knockout, too, some ground and pound. I'm going to roll with Themba, though. I'm going to probably the Themba finish. Maybe that's what I'll do. So double method, plus 175, KO or submission. And maybe I could get some sort of overplay. Chaos Williams taking on Carlston Harris. And I've been kind of back and forth on this one. Carlston Harris is good. Love his grappling. I think Chaos Williams is definitely going to have the advantage on the feet here, and so it's going to come down to, is Carlston Harris going to be able to grapple with Chaos Williams? And I'm going to say no. He's the older fighter at this point. He's 36, which isn't bad, but Chaos is 30. Looking really good. He's been fighting really good strikers, too, as of late. Carlson's not a bad striker, but he's not to the level of competition that Chaos has been fighting thus far. And I like Chaos to go out there and stuff takedowns and then put it on Carlson Harris. It could be a big test for him if he's not stuffing those takedowns, but I am going to roll with the favorite. And I understand why the odds makers like the KO. He's got 2 KO losses. Shavkat. Whatever, man. Yeah, Chaos isn't Shavkat, but he hits like a truck. And he is going to be a much better striker. But I think that knockout comes a little bit later, but man, I kind of don't want to play that game with this fight. And I might just go with the money line here. The KO or decision results minus 125. And again, I just don't. So, yeah, you're better. What the hell? So add any result to it. Just take the money line and you get better odds. What a ridiculous line. Edson Barboza taking on Lerone Murphy. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the most impressed with what I've seen from Lerone. I think he's a good fighter, but yeah, I mean, has he lost in the UFC? Well, he's got no losses, so yeah, I just haven't been the most impressed with him lately. And I suppose Lerone Murphy could be the better grappler here, but Edson Barboza is dangerous with those elbows when your head's low against the fence. He was hurting who's he hurt? Sadiq. He was hurting Sadiq. He was hurting Billy Quarantillo with those. And then the knees, too. The knees, I don't know if it's a wise idea for Lerone to be shooting for takedowns. I guess he's got that in his pocket to potentially take rounds, but I like Edson Barboza. We've seen him in 5-round fights before. We've never seen Lerone Murphy here, and I like Edson. I don't know if it's going to be the decision or if he's, he is dangerous or if he hurts Lerone Murphy, but I think this is a big test, and I'm rolling with the dog in Edson Barboza here. I like the decision, I guess, but I understand the KO. We could do the KO or decision at plus 130, or his line is plus 124. So again, not enough juice probably. And I think if you like Lerone Murphy, I think you're probably going for a decision. That's my opinion. I do want to check out the basketball game. I rolled with the Pacers to get it done in game 6 at home. McBride's having a good game. Dante is. Brunson is not. Halliburton 8-6. I put a little on him to get the double-double, and then I took the Pacers -5. So we're looking pretty good. The Scotty Scheffler stuff is so crazy. so crazy. yeah, that messed up Diddy footage came out. Domestic abuse stuff. Excuse me. When does Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson? I saw they had a press conference. July 20th. Oh, wow. It's a long way away. Well, I guess I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate you tuning in. Please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next Friday. Have a nice night. Bye.